Roger Prince has been caught doing something immodest in the presence of yet another lady of Virginia Manor, or Virginia Lodge, I forget. Virginia Lodge, I believe. Dido, Miss Florence's stepmother. Because later on, it's good that there's the distinction that they are not directly blood-related, because otherwise this would be a BDSM incest period piece in World War I. Well, post-World War I. But it's not. It's only the first two. Incest was the second one. You know what I mean. So, yes, Dido found him with the raven black hair. She stole his clothing and is being coquettish. I have no idea how old she is. I would really love to know. She's probably like 30 or something. I don't know. She's a cougar, suffice it to say. It is such a hot day, Roger. Aren't you going to invite me to join you, or are you going to hog the water like a selfish male? I stuttered the commanded invitation. She at once lifted her smock over her head and gaily took it off. She was nude, and I stared at the perfection of her slender body, my penis stiffening all the while. Her breasts were pert and hard, like pears. The belly flat, and the thighs rippled with sinuous muscle. Her mound swelled ripe and full as a little cantaloupe. A cantaloupe. Make of that what you will, because I don't know what to make of it personally. With big pink lips of her gash glistening in the sunlight, her mound was shaven smooth as porcelain. I have to bring up the period piece yet again. Who in the fuck shaved their pubic hair in 1918? I mean, if some history buff wants to step in and correct me about that, please do. I'm always down to learn more. As I continue to do as I read this fucking book. Alright. Her mound was shaven smooth as porcelain. My knowledge of female parts came from surreptitious study of medical photographs, and from sculptures and paintings of antiquity. The photographs always showed the ladies to be endowed with bushy shocks of hair at their founts, and I assumed the naked fount was confined to the realm of art. So it was a surprise to see a real lady with a shaven mink. I had not yet glimpsed Miss Florence's fount, only the back of her hand as she rubbed it. So much masturbating in this book. God, that was like 14% alcohol. Dido tripped towards the water, on dainty feet. Oh, I apologize. I had not glimpsed Miss Florence's fount. Only the back of her hand as she rubbed it. Dido's fount, on the other hand, a cantaloupe. Think of that next summer. Is that when cantaloupe comes into season? Oh my god, why does anyone watch these videos? Dido tripped toward the water on dainty feet and lowered herself gracefully in, then began swimming in the opposite direction from me. I watched the gentle play of her back muscles, the scissoring of her thighs, and the hard peach of her buttocks dancing in the water. My penis now became fully erect. I re-immersed myself to shoulder height, and her eyes followed with the prismatic image of my member, refracted on the crystal water. She burst out to laughing, her voice so musical as to melt any timidity. "It looks as though you have two cocks, Roger," she cried, taking me aback with her forthright language. "Or are they giant fishes nibbling your balls? Don't be bashful, sir. Nudity is the friendliest thing. And what indecorousness can happen with all these ducks watching?" "You're gonna be fucking in front of ducks." I think that actually does happen. I accused her of teasing me, and she emitted a peal of laughter, then cried that I should race her, and struck off at a fast swim toward the far end of the lake, her body darting in the water like a shiny fish. I lumbered in pursuit. My swimming, while adequate, was not as expert as Dido's, and she reached the far bank well before me. She stopped and turned to look, the water lapping at her breasts and big brown nipples standing up like hard pebbles. Laughing at my clumsy progress, she lifted her arms to beckon me with mockery. Yet habit dies hard. Then my erect penis, accustomed to the caress of the water, now had a vision of naked female loveliness to hasten my fulfillment. It was not long before I felt the honeyed tickling in my balls. I spasmed a jet, and seed spurted from me, clearly visible as it trailed in the water. Oh my god. "I see only a little fish now," she said, staring down at my softened member, and took me by the ears. "Haven't you ever seen a lady with nothing on, Roger?" I blushed fiercely, and stammered that I had not. She laughed and kissed my lips. "Don't be embarrassed," she murmured. "Your shyness is so pretty. So I suppose that means you've never been with a lady either." "No, Mrs. Dark. Roger, we are naked together, and you must call me Dido. So, Roger, you're a blushing virgin." I mumbled something about marriage, and she said, "Yes, marriage," as though she had said, "Yes, parlor maids." Then she had said that she was naked and alone with me, and admitted that she had teased me, and I must now do the thing which I really wanted to do. I was aghast and foolishly asked her what she meant. "Why, picking flowers for me, of course." She cried. She didn't cry. She cried, and nimbly darted from my presence to swim back to our shore. When I emerged at last, she was sitting cross-legged and nonchalant on the bank. She will be on her back soon. She was sitting cross-legged and nonchalant on the bank, so that I could see the spread lips and pink flesh of her open gash. She affected not to notice that my cock almost at once stiffened to throbbing hardness, except when I made a foolish attempt to cover my immodesty with my inadequate palms. His hands just can't cover how big that cock is. A common problem, I'm sure. Cover my immodesty. I asked her for my clothes, and she made the coquette, putting her hand on her chin and pouting as she had quite forgotten where they were. "Pick those flowers over there," she ordered, "and perhaps I shall remember. You don't mind, Roger?" I did not mind. I was in the power of the sweet, flirtatious minx, even though she was another man's wife, and her power was different from the dominant power of my mistress. This power was expressed in the open flaps of her naked gash, which seemed to stare at my erect cock like a glistening, shiny eye. I'm drunk. Forgive me.